What's good with y'all? Welcome to the Ancient Mystery Investigations. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like and subscribe button. If you like the energy, if you enjoy the content, be greatly appreciated. The donations link will be in the description box below. This is going to be a video on, are you really alone? Something that I've just been sitting back observing and analyzing for a long time as a Scorpio man. Are you really alone, or are you surrounded by people that simulate the version of reality? Because not everybody out there is going to be like that, but they're going to have a few people out there that's going to better understand you. But the way I look at everything is this is nothing but a simulation of what reality is supposed to be. This is the way I see things, and this is the way it actually is. Because social media don't define your characteristics. Being around a group of people don't define your character. Being successful don't define your character. It's about who you are energetically and on frequency level. See, a lot of people out there are jealous of if you have talents. Some of you out there may have a talent at being an artist, drawing. You may have a talent at singing. You may have a talent at dancing. Why are they jealous of something that you was already gifted with whenever that's not really who you are beyond the shell of that body? I mean, you may have talents, but it's about what's exhibiting, what is really beyond the talent that's being executed in that moment. This is what people don't understand. It's the soul beyond the body. It's the energy. It's the extraterrestrial, never-ending dimensional being beyond that body. That's exactly what's going on. People want to know about some sacred knowledge. I'm going to spit the truth. I'm going to let people know that I know what's really going on out there because I'm not no dummy. I've been aware the minute I was birthed into this simulation of what people think reality really is. This is why I stay to myself. I have that alien-like vision. I have those analytical skills for a reason more than technology, bro. It's more amplified than technology can ever raise its frequency to see beyond, to actually see with those type of techniques. This is how deep it really goes. I'm not really going to get too far into information, but this is how I see reality. If you're somebody out there that finds yourself to be alone, and you think it's because of depression, it's not because you're depressed. It's because you're waking up. You're waking up for what you was already asleep to. You're waking up something that needs to be woken up. You're waking up the eye that you had to rebirth. That was almost giving off the illusion as if it was dead this whole time. Because why does people out there, why whenever you wake up you feel like everybody around you is not who you once seen at one time? Why is that? That right there is a confirmation. That was a card that just passed, but that right there was a confirmation. Why you don't see things the same way as soon as you rebirth that eye? Because that's your soul. That's where you see things on the soul level. You see things exactly for what they are. And this is why you have a hard time in keeping friends around. Why you think everything has end in it? If you really break it down to the details and analyze the word friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it may be, why do they have end in there? Because you're not meant to last forever with people like that. I mean, every now and then, there could be a moment to where you may have one of those people still by your side when you wake up. You may even wake up together. But not everybody is going to start seeing things for how you see them. You will be called crazy. You'll be called as if you lost your mind. You lost what you once perceived as the illusion. That's where they got the information all screwed up at. Let's just put them on check real quick. Let's bring the real check mark out and checkmate them real quick. You have found your way out of the maze that you was once lost in, and now you're the outsider that not only thinks outside the box, you living outside the box, and you're looking inside the box you was once trapped in. So in reality, you're a genius. Let's go ahead and bring the real Hierophant out. People need to hear this type of information. To the ones out there that think somebody, they just, oh yeah, well they just read tarot cards. Okay. Those tarot cards got extraterrestrial meanings beyond them, because it's not about the cards that speak, baby. It's the energy. It's the imagery that holds a deeper meaning from the extraterrestrial realm, that gives downloads to the next level of consciousness that's operating off a 20% to the brain. Did you not just understand me? Let me go ahead and slow it down even slower, in case I spoke a little too fast. But this is the type of information that comes through at lightning speed. So why should I have to slow my speech down? Because this is something that comes through at an incredibly strong and fast rate. Faster than lightning. But I'm going to go ahead and renounce what I just said, okay? When it comes to getting that type of information, it's not about the cards that produce the meanings. It's about the cards that give off that radiation level of frequency from the extraterrestrial realm that comes through as downloads at incredible, strong, fast lightning speed. That's how that happens, and a lot of people don't understand that. Now, you got people out there that read regular tarot cards. I'm not no tarot reader. I'm that Hierophant card. The Hierophant is all about somebody that has genius abilities, they have ancient wisdom, and they know what's going on out there. They have master mason abilities, and they was already a master mason spiritually before they descended down here into this physical realm. This is why you can't mess with somebody like that, because they know things that people shouldn't know, but it's what they're already gifted with. And somebody else out there that is more aware, that knows what's really going on, will understand that they're not a threat to anybody. They just have way too much information. They know things. That's why they chose to be alone. Because you're alone the whole time you were surrounded by all those people. So are you really alone when you find yourself? No, you're not. No, indeed, you're not. You're not really alone when you find yourself, because that's your own, you could be your own best friend. But that's the only word that won't end. That's the only thing that won't come to an end. You will never lose touch with yourself. You will never lose that type of insight or connection with yourself. Because you, as the soul that's living inside the shell of that body, is operating exactly like a vehicle. Because that's where the definition comes in at, that your body is used as a vehicle, but it's also used as a home. Because you live inside that vessel. The vessel's not really living. It's the soul that's giving that vessel the energy and the life. Even though you may have a heart and a mind, and you may have organs, internal organs, etc., you have to have a soul inside that vessel for it to fully operate fully. You have to have a spirit beyond the physical vessel of that body for it to fully activate and operate. Because if not, you're not going to have that. Because once the soul detaches from the body is pointless. That's what you call death. The body's pointless, but it's not really death. It's about an ascension. See, people out there was taught to cry when somebody passes on, because they think it's the ending. It's just beginning. It's a level up. That's the way I perceive the information, because I have psychic abilities to see into the unknown, to understand the unknown. What's scary to the average person out there? I have no fear. Because fear is already an illusion in itself. Just like the illusion of death. Because most people out there, they was taught, because what you see at funerals is they cry. But don't you know, as soon as a baby is born, you're supposed to be happy? No, you're not supposed to be happy. You're supposed to cry. You're supposed to be sad. Because it's the exact opposite. And in these times, if you was to be happy at a funeral, then People will perceive you as a cold-hearted person. But why you think that you have some type of relief whenever somebody that is suffering in a physical form actually ascends out that body? It's because they're not suffering anymore. So therefore, you feel a sense of relief. So why should you be heartbroken? That's what I'm trying to define right there. And break it down in detailed form where y'all can understand that it's not as bad as what people try to make it out to be. It's not the end of the world. It's just the beginning. For some of those out there that are dealing with a painful experience like that, it's all about the way that you perceive the ascension. Because it's never descending. It's all about ascending. There's an energy beyond that vessel. Why you think that some of us out there have the ability to communicate with the other side and to get information from God himself? It's because there's another kingdom out there, bro. There's another dimension out there. It's called the heavenly realm. It's called the spirit world. Some of us has an incredibly strong connection to God to associate with him. Not on demand. It comes through at random times. We have that type of access to him and our angels around us. Because we're not just living in this physical world. We have one foot into the spirit world and one foot out to the reality. That's where we get our connection from. It's a split. It's a split between two worlds, bro. I'm telling you. This is how deep the information really goes. And how deep your soul really goes, that you always question, well, why are you alone? Why you don't associate with people? Because I've already been down that path, bro. A long time ago. I've already been there. I've already been in a ballroom. I've already been at places like that, clubbing, partying. That's not the life. I've already been around people that you think that you can trust. But it turns out, what did you trust? You was trusting an illusion of what they was giving off. Because what reality is the end that was in that friend word, because it wasn't really your damn friend. See, people don't change. They have a funny way of shape-shifting. That's the facts. This is the type of information that those type of people don't know about. Until you actually figure it out for yourself. Because if somebody was truly meant to be in your life, they wouldn't change, because there's nothing there to shape shift. They're an earth angel themselves, so they deserve to be by your side. That's somebody that is genuine. That's somebody that is trusted enough to be in your life. That is somebody that is loving and caring and genuine enough to be by your side. It's not somebody that is wearing a mask. See, there's a deeper meaning beyond the people out there that claim that people wear a mask. It's about the entity that knows how to shapeshift beyond the vessel of that body and to trick the human eyesight and the neurons of the brain. That's where the trick is involved. But when it comes to stepping to a magician like myself, there could be other people out there that could be a strong and powerful magician themselves too. When it comes to facing with a magician that knows how the trick is created, because they already have the codes to discern, to use the level of discernment and to break it down to details, to split it into different sections and pick apart each and every bit of layer that was created to trick the mind. That's when it makes you an incredibly dangerous person. That's the person that they can't fool, they can't deceive, and they can't get away with trying to do anything to when it comes to deception, because they know how to pick apart the details and the definition beyond deception, beyond the mask. Because it's not just a mask physically, it's about the shape-shifting abilities that's going on underneath the surface of that body that knows how to trick the human brain and knows somewhat how to trick the spirit if they're not spiritually strong. But when you got an incredibly strong spirit, you will be able to see straight through that. Therefore, you cannot be fooled. So who is the fool? Not I. Not I. Because think about it, not I. Why does it sound like I? Because that's exactly what it is. That I can't be fooled. And it's called the third eye. Not I. No, hold on. EYE. Excuse the hiccup there. EYE. Sounds identical to I. Even though it's spelled differently, it holds identical. It's identical. There's not no similarities there. It's identical to the way it sounds. Because it's the same frequency. I. Because I is representing you. But it's all about not I. You can't be fooled. This is where you start becoming aware. This is where you start becoming in tune to see what's really going on out there on a spiritual level. And this is why some of you out there don't associate with just anybody out there. Because of that. Because of what you've been through already. Because of what you already know. So are you a dangerous person like on a physical level? No. If somebody tries to misinterpret your character as to say that you're a weirdo, you're the furthest thing from a weirdo. You are somebody that is the wisest of them all, and you know how to teach 1,000 people in a room a lesson that thinks that they know everything. Because it takes one person to prove all of them that thinks that you crazy wrong. Let's go ahead and put the truth out there. This is what I mean about standing strong in your power, not being arrogant or egotistical out there. But as long as you know who you are, nobody out there could truly define any bit of what the mystery holds beyond the physical vessel of that body, because you're always transforming. Every day is different. Every day, there's no such thing as past or future. Even though you can replay it in the mind, it's all about what's really happening now. Because what I said a few seconds ago, that's history, which are representing the past. It no longer exists, even though you could play it back. It's only being played back on a device. You can't play it back in a physical form on that human level. But the only way that you could replay it is by the mind, if y'all get what I'm saying. Of course, you can replay it on a device. If you want to be specific and detailed, you could grab that device and press the play button and it'll rewind it. But when it comes to not having a device, I'm talking about on a human level, when it comes to your body. If you didn't have that device, how can it be replayed back? By a train of thought in the mind that echoes of what the soul heard. Because that type of information right there can ring. It has a specific, unique ring to it that will forever leave the echoes of it behind, echoes of itself behind. So it's considered a good haunting, because that type of information should haunt people in a good way to remind them of what's really going on. When you start hearing the echoes of that type of information, to bring you back into awareness, to bring you back into what's really going on in the present moment, because that's what matters. If somebody said something rude to you, let's say 5-10 minutes ago, that don't even matter anymore. It didn't matter the time that it was spoken, because they wasn't really directing something towards you. And I'm going to tell you how you don't let that type of activity affect you. Learn how to detach yourself from the human body and to look at yourself from a third person's perspective. That's when you can master the art of astral projection and knowing how to protect your energy. So do you really need crystals? No. Do you really need sea salt? No. Do you really need to take a spiritual bath? No. Because you just avoided some type of projection that didn't come from you. Even though it may have been projected your way, you still know how to accurately dodge the attack. So therefore, how can the attack manifest? That right there is what should be questioned. But I have the answer to the question. I'm going to tell you how it was avoided, how you avoided that type of attack to where it didn't affect you. It's because you already knew that the attack, even though it may have been projected towards what they think was you, it really wasn't, because you was detached. You knew how to step outside your body and astral project and travel. because the body does not hold any meaning to it like the soul does. So your soul wasn't attacked. It was projected towards the physical appearance that they thought was paying attention. But just like I said, in order to fully pay attention and to be aware, you have to have the spirit beyond the physical vessel of that body. So therefore, if the spirit wasn't there at the time that it was being done, how is your spirit affected by it? See what I'm saying? This was a message out there for the ones that are aware. Not just my Scorpios out there, but Scorpios are highly in tune and they're very evolved, but they're very deep, very mysterious. Very mysterious. They always are transforming. Always. There's always another layer, bro, a thick layer to unwrap. Like we can't even get to the bottom of it ourselves. I truly don't even know what's at the bottom of those layers, bro, because there's too many. I can't even tell you. Even if I tried, I still couldn't. When it comes to that zodiac sign, I'm October 29th. I'm a Scorpio, man. To the ones that don't know, the new people. But that's all I can say when it comes to that sign. But there may be other people out there that may be curious on why you feel out of place. It's not that you're out of place. You are looking at things that's surrounding you that's out of place. Because you found your place. You find your place spiritually. You see things that really bother you because that's the OCD spiritual mechanism that's going off. It's called spiritually obsessive disorder. Spiritual obsession disorder. That's what that is. Because you're seeing things and you question on a spiritual level. That's what I'm going to label that. Spiritual obsession disorder. It's SOB. No, SOD is what I mean. SOD. Spiritual obsession disorder. Because your spirit gives off this sense of obsession, but it's not in a toxic way. It's not how the obsession is defined down here in the physical world. This is a different level of obsession. Matter of fact, I'm going to label it differently. Observative. Spiritual observing disorder. It's what you observe on the spiritual level. I had to make a little correction right there real quick. It's about what you was observing on that spiritual level. But at the same time, it could come across as another word too, obsessive. But it's not how it's defined down here in the physical realm. It's a different definition. And I'm explaining the definition. It's about what you're fixated on spiritually, trying to understand from a human level of informative information. That is almost impossible because the brain cannot catch up with what that part of the mind is relaying to that type of information. If that makes any sense. Your soul is too high quality. Your spirit is just too high a frequency for the mind to catch up with. And that's exactly what that is. So the next time you thinking or you have in your mind or you got people around you that really don't understand you where you coming from, I want you to keep this in mind. They don't know who you really are beyond the physical vessel of that body. You are somebody that knows who you are. And there's also maybe one other person, could be two other people that know who you are too. They may not fully be able to understand like you do, but they got one or two people out there to understand. And I'm here to let you know that you're not some crazy individual. You're definitely not what other people try to make you out to be. Because their level of perception and definition of crazy is completely inaccurate. How can you be an insane person when you have all your sanity? So are there real projection? Okay, they're doing nothing but projection. So are there it is what they're really trying to define you by should affect you? If that makes any sense, should what they're doing to try to define what's really going on with you affect you? When their information is invalid, how can they label you crazy? How can they label you insane? Because last time I checked, you have your sanity till its fullest form. You're a genius. You're somebody that's a genius, and you find your way out the maze, something that they're still trapped in. So how are you somebody that has lost your sanity? Because insane people would have lost their mind already. They wouldn't even know that type of information because they don't have enough proper power or mental strength to function. So let's go ahead and close the message out with that type of information. And I will see y'all some other time. I figured I'll reveal a little bit of the Hierophant, who I really am, but it's a lot deeper, bro. It's a lot more mysterious. And there's a lot more deeper information that I really have, but that information will forever remain a secret and a mystery. Peace.